in a dimly lit dive bar, alongside a desolate highway in the Irish countryside. The air hung thick with the remnants of whispered secrets and untold stories. The cheerful tunes of a jukebox struggled to mask the ominous ambiance, where shadows danced like wraiths and unease seeped into the very walls. Cadence, the seasoned bartender, stood behind the counter, wiping a glass with a stained cloth, her eyes scanning the sparse crowd. The bar was her sanctuary, a place where she felt in control, surrounded by the familiar artifacts of years gone by. Dusty beer tacks, faded photographs, and the haunting echoes of laughter from Lawn Lot. That night was different, though. The creaking floorboards held a disquieting hush as the door swung open with a reluctant groan, and in walked a mysterious man, his dark attire contrasting sharply with the warmth of the bar. His eyes glinted like polished obsidian. The sinister smile crept across his face, drawing the gaze of every soul within the establishment. He surveyed the room, his presence exuding an unsettling confidence, making the hairs on the back of Cadence's neck stand on end. Shortly after, a woman entered, her striking beauty matched by an unnerving predatory aura. She carried herself with enchanting allure, yet the way she moved through the bar felt deliberate, as if she were inspecting her prey. The mysterious man approached her, and Cadence could almost hear the hungry whispers of their conversation, words slipping from their lips like a venomous brill. Cadence, ever observant, felt her gut tighten as she overheard them conjure dark tales about the woods outside, speaking of lost souls and those who had vanished without a trace. The air grew colder as the bar filled with an unshakable tension, and a chill swept through the hearts of those who listened too closely. The young bartender, recently hired and eager to please, was enchanted by the charisma of the newcomers. Eager to hear what they had to say, not noticing the shadow that fell across Cadence's face. "You should steer clear of them," she warned, her voice barely above a whisper. Yet the allure of danger proved too enticing for the naive young man, and he found himself drawn into their captivating conversations. And as the night wore on, the mysterious man proposed a toast to the woods, he exclaimed, raising his glass high, an uncanny glint in his eyes. The woman echoed his sentiment, her laughter tinged with a chilling resonance that made Cadence's skin crawl. Then came the strange occurrences. Glasses rattled and fell from the shelves. Shadows lengthened and twisted as if alive, and an oppressive silence fell over the bar, punctuated only by the creaking wood and the low murmur of the jukebox. Cadence could feel the pressure building, urging her to take action. She approached the young bartender, her voice urgent. "Listen to me. There's something off about them. We need to leave," but the allure of the mysterious man and the woman was too strong, and he shook his head, his eyes glazed with a captivated fervor. Then the truth unraveled swiftly. The mysterious man turned to her, his facade slipping, revealing a malevolence that sent icy fingers crawling up Cadence's spine. "You're in our way, old woman. We simply wish to invite your young friend to join our gathering. You see, the woods are hungry tonight, and they will take what they're owed." Cadence's heart pounded as she realized the implications. Fifth, sinister cult rituals buried deep in the heart of these woods were more than just folklore. They were real, and they were inviting her beloved young bartender into their dark embrace. The moment exploded into chaos as Cadence lunged at the mysterious man, her instinct kicking in, and the bar erupted into frantic energy. The young bartender was torn between confusion and fear, unsure of whom to trust, as the woman's laughter rang out dark and twisted. Cadence managed to pull him away as the bar plunged into supernatural turmoil, with the walls themselves seeming to come alive, urging them to stay. They dashed toward the back door, flinging it open into the suffocating darkness of the woods. Distant howls echoed through the night, chilling them to the marrow. Cadence clutched the young bartender's arm tightly, pulling him forward as whispers crescendoed around them. "I won't let them take you," Cadence shouted, her voice barely reaching above the cacophony of nature's raging breath, fueled by the demonic forces that sought to reclaim their own. Each step deeper into the woods felt like a scream, loss, and despair. And still, they ran. Shadows clung to the trunks of the ancient trees like hungry spirits, and the wind carried warnings from past victims who hadn't been so lucky. Cadence thought of their stories, the faded photographs in the bar that smiled up from the shelves, and felt every heartbeat weighing her down. Finally, they reached the edge of a clearing heavy with fog and enveloped in darkness. The young bartender's eyes were wild with terror. He looked at Cadence as if seeing her for the first time. "What do we do now?" he whispered, his voice trembling. As if in response, a rustling filled the air. They turned to see flickers of movement in the underbrush, and the mysterious man and the woman appeared from the shadows, their smiles widening. "Where do you think you're going?" The cadence of their voices entwined in a sing-song, airiness, taunting and teasing. With adrenaline coursing through her veins, Cadence stepped forward, her loyalty to the young bartender outweighing her fear. "You're monsters. You prey on the weak," she shouted, defiantly standing her ground. They laughed, a dissonant sound that echoed against the trees, chilling her to the bone. "We only take what we're owed," but the woods demand as their hands reached toward her. A scream clawed its way up Cadence's throat, desperate for a response. With a sudden flash of courage, she grabbed the young bartender's wrist, pulling him back, and they turned to run once again. Their hearts racing, they managed to escape the clearing, only to crash through the underbrush, filled with danger and uncertainty. The woods whispered behind them, the shadows merging into a haunting chorus that promised vengeance. Eventually, they stumbled upon an empty rest stop, the flickering light from a lone, non-functional lamp offering a semblance of safety. They collapsed against a wooden bench, panting heavily, fear etched onto their faces. The young bartender caught his breath, glancing at Cadence and whispered, "What were they? Stew? What do they want? I thought they were just people." He was still reeling from the harrowing experiences, unable to come to terms with the bizarre reality he had just witnessed. They're predators, disguised as humans. They lure innocent souls to satisfy their dark hunger. "We were lucky tonight, but we can't let our guard down," Cadence replied, her voice heavy with the weight of understanding. As they began to settle, a shadow darted past the perimeter of the rest stop, causing their hearts to leap in their chests. "Shall?" They exchanged a panicked glance, both knowing that the night was far from over. A familiar laughter echoed through the trees, and the hair on Cadence's arms stood on end. "No one escapes the woods, my friend," the mysterious man's voice rang clear amidst the night, sending chills coursing through their veins. They pressed into the smallest corner of the stop, every creak and rustle resonating like a warning, instilling a primal terror within them. And as the night stretched on, they realized the truth that danger was no longer confined to the woods, but also lingered within each acquaintance they would ever meet. That each smile could harbor a hidden secret. Each laugh could carry with it the weight of nameless horrors waiting to resurface. As dawn approached, the first light barely piercing through the trees, the lesson they learned would follow them through life. Darkness sometimes hides behind familiar faces, and the woods were always watching Kectra. The question remained how many would escape its clutches, and how many would be lured to their own demise. The shadows seemed to laugh at the unanswered question, whispering into the dawn, waiting to draw another unsuspecting soul into their embrace.